Hi church, welcome to another episode of The Wave Crew, where we get to know the story of one of our brothers and sisters in Christ. Just a reminder that these videos, unlike the Hope Chat ones, can't be shared on social media. And if you've got somebody outside the church that you think this video will bless, that's great. But please check with myself or the person in this video before sharing it. Also, we would love for you to consider sharing your story via the Wave Crew or the Hope Chat videos. Your story might change somebody's eternal destiny. God bless. We hope you enjoy this story.
Oh, hi Stuart. Welcome to our home.
Thank you.
It's nice to have you
Lovely
here.
to be here.
And thank you for offering to interview me, Stuart.
This girl, she's cheeky.
Yeah. But I had to think, and I have been thinking just before you asked me, actually the very week before I was thinking about this, it was like when you rang up, I thought, I know what he's going to ask me, and I had the answer. So I said to Stewie, I would like to interview you, Stewie, because you've done some great work interviewing people. But
it's been fun.
I think a lot of us would like to know more about you because we see you up there, you're doing such a great job. And so let's go exploring for a bit. And I thought, rather than just sort of focus on it being just down one channel or another, we'll just see where it takes us. But I have got a few questions because, you know, we do want to have some semblance of this.
Cool.
So we'll start at the beginning, a bit of background, Stewie.
Yeah.
Where were you born?
I was born in Auckland, New Zealand, South Auckland.
You really? See,
yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yep, Kiwi, hence the hair. Just kidding.
You don't sound like Kiwi.
No, well, I came over to Australia when I was 4 years old.
Okay.
Yep, the whole family moved over. My littlest brother was born here, but.
So have you still got family over there, like extended?
Everyone else, yep, except
right.
for our immediate family.
Oh,
I've had a couple of
that's
cousins
nice.
move over to Australia, but yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fancy. I'm really surprised to hear that.
Yeah.
Siblings?
Yeah, I've got an older brother, then it's me, then my younger sister, and then a younger brother again. So there's four of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are they like in the area or?
I've got my older brothers in Ballarat, my younger sisters in Melbourne, and my youngest brother's in Traralgon. So we're the only ones in Geelong. Yeah. Yeah.
But you can connect sort of fairly well from those distances. Yeah. Christian household? Did you grow up in a Christian family?
Yeah. Mum and Dad love Jesus.
Okay.
Yeah. So lucky.
So Stewie, how old were you when you accepted Jesus into your life as Lord and Saviour? Can you remember with the Hope Chat, some people have a very dramatic conversion.
Yeah.
And then some people like Doug, it's much more gentle, but they remember exactly when that turning point was. So
yeah, I've probably had a few. I'll talk about the first one. This is the first one I remember. I think I was around 12 years old and they were doing something at the Maya Music Bowl.
Oh, okay.
Some Christian thing.
Yeah.
And I just had to go up the front and give my life to Jesus. Yeah. Right. Baptised soon after. Yeah. Yeah, so
about 12?
Yeah, around about then, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't remember heaps about it. I remember just loving, really loving God from a fairly young age. Actually.
Just nurtured into it.
I think so, and I'd read stuff about exciting things like missionaries, and I just want to go and do the same, like Deepest, Darkest Africa, or Gangs in New York, or there's something about just wanting to bring the love of God, you know. So yeah.
Okay.
Is that the doorbell?
Sounds like Dad's phone. Thanks, Dad.
We'll just keep rolling. We're family, right?
Okay. Where did you go to school?
Christian college all the way through.
Okay, so
13
in
years.
Geelong.
Yeah, Heightened and Warm and great place.
What ambitions did you have when you were at school?
I wanted to be an NBA basketball player. Yeah, I wanted to go to America and play basketball. I loved basketball. Yeah, that was probably my ambition.
Yeah, so you played basketball, obviously.
Played heaps of basketball growing up. Yeah. Loved it. Lived for it actually, playing or training all the time.
Do you still play at all?
No, Tristan Brown, he got me to fill in for his team a few times last season, which was pretty fun. I wouldn't mind getting back into it, but no, surfing killed my sporting career. So happened like that for a lot of us actually. You kind of get into surfing and that's it. That's all you want to do. Yeah.
Who was your hero growing up?
Well, I loved Michael Jordan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, loved him. But also, there was like, if I read about like Christian missionaries or something like that, I named my dog Corrie after Corrie Ten Boom. Do you know that?
Right.
Do you know her? Yeah. The Jew that was locked up in concentration camps. Amazing lady.
Oh.
So yeah, she's incredible. Yeah.
What year did you graduate from uni? Because you did a teaching degree. Was that primary or secondary?
Dates. I did. It was a primary and secondary degree. So
okay.
And I think I finished up there about 2006. I think I started teaching in 2007. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you love it? Was it what you thought it would be?
Uni?
No, teaching.
Teaching. Oh, I don't know if it was what I thought it would be. I wanted to do. I studied outdoor teaching, so I was keen to get kids out bush. But by the end, I was keen for a bit of an adventure. So I went. My first job was in a place called Armada in Central Australia. It's kind of a couple of hours south of Ayers Rock, just under the Northern Territory border in South Australia. Yeah. And so Aboriginal community, Aboriginal school. So I just headed up there and didn't really know what I was getting myself into, but had a crack. Did you go
up with a mate, or how did you find out about Armada? Tell us a little bit about
It's funny, hey, like I did for some reason it just worked out. I was thinking about going overseas and doing mission stuff. I was really keen on that. But I just ended up doing a whole bunch of trips to Central Australia. None that I had to pay for. I was just helping out with school trips, or there was a church group that was going up from another church, and I went with them. And there was a trip with uni, and I was just like fell in love with the people and the place. And I thought, oh, well, maybe God's leading me here. And so I went up and I had to go there. Yeah.
What's the population level?
It's depending on what time of year, what's going on. 350, 400 people. Yeah, one shop.
Is it like a transient community, or is it a sort of mostly people live there all the time community?
Oh, both. I mean, there was always people coming and going, but there was people that were there all the time as well. So I had a consistent group. I really believe God gave me. I was there for 7 years, and He gave me this group of young Indigenous boys right in junior secondary, kind of year 7, 8, 9 kind of age they were. And we started a group with them, and I was able just to follow those guys through. They come and went a bit, but those guys through for 7 years and help them find jobs. And it was such a joy for God to just give you a group. Like here's your crew. I love them so much. Can you just journey with these guys for me? You know.
Yeah. And, would you have any connection with any of them still?
Yeah. Well, like these days, Facebook. FaceTime.
Social media is great for that, isn't it?
A couple of months ago, one of my students, Troy, his newborn had a heart condition, and they flew him down to the Royal Children's in Melbourne, and we went up and hung out, and we chat semi kind of regularly and see what each other's doing on Facebook. Yeah. Was it a Christian school or no? No, government. Okay. But the majority of people there, Indigenous people in remote communities. Well, I'm just speaking for Armada, but they would say they have a Christian faith. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's really cool just to be involved with that and to be able to talk with the kids and that, and that it was great because you know, down here sometimes you can feel like you're getting a bit spread, like you're playing sport there, you're working there, you're living here, different suburbs, but there it was all, you know, I'd teach the kids during the day, go to footy training after school, they'd be around at my place for Bible study at night. Oh, okay. So you were able to share your faith just there. Yeah, we did a bunch of stuff. Yeah. There were times where they would just have church, outdoor platform. They would have church every single night of the week. Wow. Till after midnight. Wow. Yeah, we'd hang out. We'd I'd go over and I'd be hanging out there for a couple of hours, and then it'd be like say 11 p.m. I'd be ready to go, and they'd have the opening prayer. Okay, they're just getting warmed up. You'd love it. You'd love it going there. Yeah, I've never been. I've been to Central Australia, but never experienced anything like that, and I would love that. Yeah, it would be so interesting. We're meant to be there right now on the church mission trip, actually, but not to be. No. 2020. Oh, well, we'll just have to wait. It'll happen. Yeah. Not just now. Now, another question about Armada, and I could not let this one go through to the paper. You met your lady love there. Yes. So tell us about how you met Tanya and how long had you been there? And so for any young people, singles watching, that's if you're wanting to find a partner, go to the most remote town in Australia. That's where you get it. Oh, she was just a gift from God. So I'd been there for 2 years, and she came up, and it took me another 2 years to ask her out. She always.
Why?
Oh, I think I was. Well, here's my thing is that I kind of semi-jokingly say that you have to. Yeah, I had to make sure I didn't have my bush goggles on. So it's like, if she, do I only just like this chick because she's like the only other Christian young person in, in the town?
Yeah.
So after a couple of years, I realised, no, I really like her, and then it took me a bit slow. It took me another couple of years again to ask her to marry me, and then we had 1 year there as a married couple before we moved back. Yeah. Yeah, and so we started right from the start. We started just doing church together, and there was some other Christian white fellas, they used to call us.
How many teachers did they have at the school?
Oh, it sort of varied. Look, there would have been right across. There would have been 10 to 12 staff.
Okay.
Yeah, in different roles and things like that. Yeah.
And were you one of the young ones, like?
Yeah, I was pretty young because I was straight in there from uni. So I was pretty young and pretty raw. And
as well.
She was young. She taught 2 years in Melbourne before.
Okay.
Before she came up. Yeah.
So completely different. You must have loved it to stay there for 7 years. That's a long time.
I really loved it. I you just want a bit of an adventure, and there was always funny, random kind of things that were happening. There was this one funny kid called Charlie. He had fetal alcohol syndrome, but he was just a funny, quirky kid. And I'd be getting to school early a few times and walking through like the schoolyard, and he'd just like pop out of a wheelie bin. Like it was like 7:30 a.m. in the morning. I'm like, what are you doing? It was pretty funny. So there's always that kind of stuff. Another time he stole money out of my bag while we were teaching, and the other boys, and he took off, and the other boys saw him. So we all packed off into the troopy as a class and like chased him down, and they found him, and they jumped out of the car and like kind of arrested him and hauled him back in. And there was always
kind of that like a people's arrest.
Kind of a citizen's class arrest excursion, maybe.
Funny. So you had that like 7 years was your season, and then something brought you back here. What?
Look,
why did you leave there?
To be honest, I think since I've come back, I've learned more about my identity in Christ and who I actually am. Like there were so many good parts about my motivation for being up there and helping people. I would just receive, when it was hard, I would just receive God's love for them, and it would keep me going. But at the same time, there was a fairly large portion of it that who am I if I'm not helping people? And so I needed that to kind of get my value, have my identity as that kind of person that helped people. And I just think you can't sustain that for very long.
No.
And so I was fairly tired by the time that I got back, and I was just ready for a change. I think it's hard because the change you see in people up there is quite slow and gradual, and you're working really hard. And sometimes you think, oh, I just want these kids to be transformed and changed.
Yeah.
And so I think it wore me down a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's why I came back.
It's hard to give from an empty tank, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And so since then, I've learned a lot about, and ongoing, to be honest, but just having my value as a son of God, and having that lead me to a relationship with the Father, and out of that, you'll never burn out if it's purely about that. So but I'm still learning.
Yeah, aren't we all?
Yeah.
A little bit more deep and meaningful question. Are you ready?
Go hard.
What's the most important decision you've ever made in your life? And how did you make it, and why did you make it, and when did you make it? You can think about that for a minute if you want, and I'll just have a little sip on my cup of tea.
Originally giving your life to Jesus, marrying Tan is always huge, right? So that's huge. But I think, when after I'd given my life for that Mind Music Bowl when I was 12, I still had a lot of, I was a pretty insecure teenager. People might not have noticed, maybe, I don't know, but I was definitely insecure, and I just lived for what other people thought about me. Talk about basketball, like I was so happy that I was okay at basketball because I had something to hang my hat on, I guess.
Yeah.
And just really, really deeply cared what other people thought about me, and I just, and so that was kind of my teenage years. But towards the end of year 12, towards the end of school, I had these friends. Jezza Gray was one of them. Lucas Bartlett was one of them that some people might know. And they were the opposite. They seriously did not care what people thought about him. You know, Jezza, Jeff Gray's son, Jezza, he would always hang out with the kids no one else wanted to hang out with. He wasn't about himself. Yeah. And it was something about him and Lucas that just was like, oh man, I really want that. Yeah. You know. And so I think the decision, it's a bit of a roundabout way, but was just to recommit to God and put all my eggs in his basket and just go after living for him. It was just I look back at that moment, that year, as such a significant time in my life. Yeah. I'd been like going to parties and just not really heavy because I was such a good little Christian kid, and I hated it, but I just drink a bit and just to impress people. And
just to be part of the crowd.
Yeah, and so then I stopped doing that in year 12 with all the 18s and sort of grew up a bit there and just got a bit bold in that, and that was really big. And I just started handing my life over and over and over to Jesus, and that is just the best decision I ever made, you know, because he's just taken me on so many cool adventures that if I was just living for myself, I would never have got to do. So that was a good one.
Good on you.
Yeah.
Because I think that thing about wanting to keep up with people, or that fear of man, what will people think of me? Yeah. That can hold you in a place. Oh. That holds a lot of people forever in their place. They can't just have the confidence to just let it go and say, oh, blow it, you know, I'm just going to be who God wants me to be. Yeah. And then just relax and grow in that. Is that? Oh,
exactly. And I see it in a lot of people, like what I used to be like is there's this idea of we're desperate for a really great life. We want a great life. And we're in our own kind of effort, we're trying to manufacture and make sure we have the best life possible. But Jesus, he's kind of the opposite of that. He says, lose your life. Just trust me, guys. Like, give me your life. I will make something amazing
it's great,
of
isn't
it. It's great.
It just takes so much pressure away.
Oh, it's just awesome.
Yeah.
And so I could have, who knows what the things I would have done. They might have even looked really good, but I just know the satisfaction of just being a son of God and serving him because he's just so good. Yeah.
What are your goals for this year?
Oh, how can I answer that in 2020? I've had about 25 different goals this year. You know, I really love our church. I really, really love our church. And
we can see that.
Yeah. Oh, look, because people are just awesome, Draga. Like our church is the best. But one of the tricky things is, as a pastor, not seeing everyone every week, it's hard to know how people are going. Yeah. So I'm just constantly thinking about all the different families and individuals and people and people on the outskirts of our church that I don't know how they're going, and I just want to know how they're going. So I think a big part of 2020 is just I want to be used by God to get people connected together and journeying through this one together. Yeah. And not just, you know what, actually not even just journeying. I think God's made a way, with Jesus on the cross, he's made a way for us to actually thrive when the going gets tough. Yeah. And I just believe if people get together and they share their hearts with one another and they love one another well, we can actually expand the kingdom of God in this time, you know, instead of just treading water. So if I can be a part of that, connecting people and spreading the good news, then I want to do that. I really would love for little groups to form in homes, little kind of missional groups that are just inward focused and loving each other, and outward focused in reaching the community.
Do you think people just need a little bit of encouragement in that, because it's very easy and concerning that people might become complacent and just sort of slowly drift, you know, when people stop coming to church physically.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
At the moment it's not possible, obviously, but
Yeah.
then, you know, the first week it feels really strange, and then if they don't do it for a few weeks, it just, you know, it just becomes a new normal.
Oh, man.
So we really need to guard against that, don't we?
Yeah.
So I'm so glad that you have such a strong desire to connect people, and I can see that's your passion.
I just, when you name a person, I'll tell you about how incredible I think they are. And sometimes, and I think it's for me, like people think I'll be incredible and I'm thinking less of myself than what, you know, God sees in me as well, right? But like, I just see so many, I call them weapons, you know, so many weapons in our church and people that can change the world. And I just want to encourage that and stoke that and see people walking in the fullness of what they were created to be, and just to let people know, you know what, like to lead a little missional group in your home, you can do it. It's easy. You just need to have the heart of God, and you've got it, you know. And so to welcome people and love them well and be yourself, that's all people need to be, you know. So yeah.
It's not rocket science, is it?
No, I don't think it is. I've been we were running a Zoom gathering on church that we're advertising a bit, and there was a call group that were coming, and it was such an awesome time. We had people coming back to God, and we had crew that were going deeper in relationship and entering through the computers, entering people's homes that didn't know Jesus. It was really a great time. And I was literally like, was literally thinking, this is the easiest thing in the world. I wasn't planning anything or doing anything. I'd literally gather them all and say, how was your week? And God would just like take it from there.
So
and then we'd back. Nah, we might do it occasionally, but because we're doing the live stream, I'm in doing that. But
has it increased your workload, this COVID thing?
Yeah,
Sure, it must have.
Initially, it was pretty full on, just sort of thinking, and then it kind of comes in waves a little bit. Like pastor, you could spend all day and all night, you know, calling people and hanging out and stuff. So, which I would love to do, but you got to have the boundaries.
Balance in your life. Yeah. Okay. Who's your favourite Bible character?
Oh, I'm just like a typical boy, like David. You know, David taking down Goliath is like that's really cool. Gotta say Jesus, you know, as well. But I just mean that with all my heart. Like I've just started. Me and Tan watched the Chosen series. If you haven't seen it, you gotta watch it.
Did you watch it on Netflix?
Because it's on YouTube for the first one, then you get an app for the rest. You work it out. But and it just portrays Jesus, and you just like, it just brings out what you know from reading the scriptures, that he was just the greatest man to ever live, and I would have just loved hanging out with him. You know, so he's incredible. Paul was a next level human being. He was crazy. I preached about Daniel the other week. He was, anyway, so I can't choose.
Okay, what do you do for relaxation? In all that spare time that you haven't got?
Look, it's not much spare time, just because you got the little kids. So
tell us about your family.
Oh yeah, I've got we got my wife Tan. Then oldest is Jesse. He's 3 years old. He's a cracker. He's just full on into everything. Love him. He's good. He's a good big brother, and he's good to his little bro, and he loves people well. He's good to his friends. Yeah, we're really proud of the little fella he's growing into being. And Levi, he's just a ball of blubber. He's learning how to talk, and he's just funny, and he loves his mum, he loves his dad. So great couple of boys, and we've got we haven't told everyone, we've got another little one on the way coming January.
Congratulations.
So if you haven't heard, then we're pumped on that. Maybe
breaking news, everyone.
Yeah, we'll find out if it's a boy or a girl in a few weeks. We'll let everyone know. God's good.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, what was the original question before the?
What do you do for relaxation?
Oh yeah, look, I haven't been getting out for a surf too much lately. I'd like to do that a little bit more. When basketball starts, I might play basketball occasionally.
Yeah. It's important, isn't it? Do you feel as though you've got balance in your life?
We're working on it. Yeah.
It's
I'm
hard.
working on it. You could ask Tan. You could ask Tan that
tell
question.
Us about, no, I think I might know the answer. Well, tell us about your studies, because that takes up a lot of your time.
I study. I do one subject a semester, but it takes me a long time. I love it, but I'm probably not the best studier as far as like I'm not the fastest. So I have to work pretty hard for it. But I think it's going in.
Yeah.
And I'm studying theology, so
it's
chipping away at it.
What's it called? I know you've told me, but you might like to tell
the name of the course.
The name of the course.
I'm doing a graduate diploma in divinity.
Okay.
Sounds impressive, hey?
Yeah, it does. Sounds really good. And how much longer have you got to go before you do that?
It's just diploma, just eight subjects, and I've done 3. No, I've done 5.
Oh, okay, you've got 3 to go. That's a big difference.
Yeah.
And what will you do then? Will you continue on, or you don't know?
I can continue on, just keep doing the masters or whatever. But we'll see. Tan says I'm not allowed to, but we'll see how we go. But I'm passing. I haven't failed any yet.
Oh no. What are you reading at the minute? Do you get time to read novels and things like that?
I really like reading, but a
bit of a luxury.
Yeah, so I'm reading my uni books. Overview of the Old Testament.
Ooh, it's a bit heavy going.
Yeah.
What's your favourite movie?
Oh, another bloke one. I'm like kind of Gladiator or Shawshank Redemption or something like that.
Really
but I will say, husband of the year, I pretty much just watch chick flicks these days, romantic comedies and things like that. So
you're a very good husband. I think drive-in movies should come back now with all this COVID stuff.
It sounds like a good idea. Maybe a business opportunity for you and Dougie.
We'll have to think about that one. What's your favourite song? I think these sort of things tell you a lot about a person. You'll probably
find out more about me that I don't really have one that pops to mind. I like music, but I'm not musical.
You're not musical?
Yeah, like if I'm driving in the car, right?
Yeah, but I'm not.
Yeah. So I don't even really have one that really pops to mind. Hey. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry to be boring.
I would never put boring and you together.
I'll say Anna Flint's song that she launched at church a few weeks ago. Plug.
Yeah, she's singing,
that's my favourite for the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would you like to see happen at the Wave?
Oh man, I think
that's a big question.
No, I just think revival sounds pretty good.
Okay, well, how are we going to make this happen?
Look, I just know that no matter, I have not come across a genuine believer in Jesus that doesn't actually get excited when they hear about someone coming to faith. When we have the baptisms and the people are telling their stories, it's always the best weeks.
Yeah.
So I just think, oh man, like I love the church so much. I think the best thing for it is just like people coming in and growing in that. So I personally want to, because I'm not doing it very often, like I want to lead people to Jesus and disciple and just have this crazy church where things are happening and we're having a crack and making mistakes and going, what do we do here? And just having a go together, and just loving each other well in the midst of it. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds all very good. And I had another really good question, and I can't think of what it was.
Another time, maybe.
Maybe. Stewie, thanks so much.
I
have found out quite a few things today, and I'm sure I won't be the only one that has. I just want to thank you because we just love having you as one of our pastors, and you're just doing a great job, and you make us all feel very special and very loved. So God bless you and your family.
I have
continue.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think I've got the best job in the world. It's amazing.
That's what I was going to ask you. Just came to me when you said it. Sorry, just one last quick question. Tell us about your calling.
Oh yeah, I just want to. I feel at the moment I just really want to serve the church because God loves it and He gave His life for it, and so it's an honour just to serve the church.
Tell us about the moment when you thought, I'm going to leave teaching and I'm going into
Oh
ministry.
yeah, cool. Now we're back into it again. You know, you're gonna have to give another good, like, a farewell. Jono asked me. Yeah, he came and talked to me and said, "Would you think about it?" And
had you had any like desires or thoughts about that before Jono came, or did he plant that?
I really loved my job, the job that I was in, teaching.
Yeah.
And I was journeying with like young people who were really battling at school. So it was really good. So I loved it, but I would have like thoughts like constantly of like just chucking it in and just serving God, like, you know, 24/7. I just wanted more. I wanted more. So when I hadn't thought about pastoring, but I wanted way more time just to serve God. And so when he asked me, I was like, okay, I'll think about that. But I already, like, straight away, I was just like, oh man, what an epic opportunity to do that. And so I just jumped at it and I was pumped, and so I just got the best job ever. I love it all. Like, I get to hang out with the kids still, and the kids at our church are just they're next level. They're funny guys and they're cool, and they're got such awesome hearts for God, and I love that. Young adults, I could hang out with them all day. Youth group, I wish I could go to youth group every Thursday night. Like, and the older ones from their families and up, like, we've got such great heritage in our church, you know. So just to be sitting with amazing people of the faith, When I look at the people at our church, I just think, why haven't we had revival already? Like, there's just we've got the warriors. They're already there. We don't need anyone. We don't need anything else. We've got the troops. Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how things unfold when we can all get back together, and I think there's going to be a lot of excitement and a lot of joy, and goodness knows. Yeah. It'll be really good.
Yeah, it'll be amazing. It'll be really amazing. Yeah. What are you going to do for a farewell now that you've already done it?
That was the last hurrah. Thanks, Stuart.
Thank you so much. Hooroo, everyone.
Bye, everyone.